in a position that the system really cannot impact in an ultimate way, and that's the fact that out of the roughly 250,000 or 300,000 bros that we have in this organization, without exaggerating, 40 to 50% of that organization could run the organization. Because that's how stringent the criteria is to become a part of this organization. And that's not hyperbole, that's real. You see what I'm saying? And of all of the bros that could run this organization, we were all drawn to this organization based on the history, based on the mission and the motto and the tradition and the history, everything about it. But the bottom line is, and I don't say this to disrespect the frat, I say this to honor the frat, that all of us could have done and become what it is that we are without ever crossing these burning sands to Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated.
I think one of the realest statements is alpha doesn't make the man makes alpha. And like you said, you can take all of us, you can strip the letters away, and I think we'll be all successful in our own right. Because there's a lot of frats and different people out here who wear the letters and that defines who that person is. But I know what I worked hard is, Bruss, Marshall, Kyle, y'all told me that you will forever be Sam the Alpha. You will never be anybody after that. I worked hard to drop that Sam the Alpha. And you can put any other adjective, verb, noun, whatever you want to put there, but it would not be the Alpha because I would not let the organization define who I am. I will define the organization. You will get to know me 100% as a person and then find out what I represent. You won't find out what I represent and then judge me.
That was players talk, right?
That
was straight indoctrination.
We're all kings who actually bring certain skills and certain attributes to the table, right? We are a creation of a higher power, and we all bring something to the table. So we all sit down, but there's got to be that uber king, right? There's got to be one king that leads it all and says, you know what, there's a head to this body, and this is how we perform. This is how we move. One head. This is how we move forward. And like you said, people know it's a powerful system because that's exactly what they go for to chop it off. Right. They know it's a powerful.
How do you elevate someone to be the head when we've seen
you can't
our influential figures just be taken?
You can't just elevate somebody, right? There has to be somebody who is naturally
born
for that
brother speaking on it right here. Go ahead.
You got to be fearless. If you're not fearless and willing to give your all by any means necessary, it all flows into it. You got to know that at the end of the day, you may lose your home, you may lose your job, you may lose your life. You have to be fearless. And that's what it's going to take for that one head. We got to have that one person.
Yeah. But you can't make that person. Is what I'm saying.
You can't make him. He has to have
it. Craft that.
He has to have it within himself to be that person.
You have to ask yourself, what's enough? You know what I'm saying? Okay, I sold my company for 30 mil. That was enough. He was like, greed plagues us. So the opportunities he's had to work with a Jay-Z and things like that, it's always been, what do I define as a success? You know what I'm saying? I used to want to rhyme like common sense. I did 5 mil. I ain't been rhyming like common sense. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, is 70 million enough? It's more than enough for real for anybody.
But I think people
now I want $1 billion. Okay, I reached $1 billion. Now I want $1 trillion. You know what I'm saying? And so his resolve was like, look, I have enough. You know what I'm saying? And he ties it always back into this black inferiority complex. You know what I'm saying? Because he deals with black people, of course. But it's a cultural thing, not just akin to black people. It's capitalism, which is a tenet. Individualism is a tenet of capitalism. So it's all about the individual success, the competitiveness, as opposed to the collective, which is what I believe Africanness brought to humanity. Is the communal aspect. So when we look at the individual success, one of the things I derive from that is, family is the first part of nation building. So you can take that as individual success, but it's been more of a theme in my life, which is why I'm moving more towards that aspect of, okay, this is what I'm responsible for here and now. I got an 8-year-old son. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I don't build him, he's gonna build around him. But while I'm building him, let me see how many more young boys and girls can I take with him.
For me, you talking about raising your kids. For me, my impact that I made before I became Alpha is teaching football, teaching basketball, being a positive role model for the younger kids to see. They can see that there's more to it than just slanging dope. This is a man who's volunteering every day to come out and teach you something, but also teach you life lessons. So when I got kids that I see now that graduated high school and college playing basketball, and it's like, hey, coach. Mm-hmm. So that's our impact that we can make on the younger minds to say, what are we doing to them? We have to be selfless. Yeah, my kids played basketball, football. Guess what? After my kids stopped playing basketball, stopped playing football, guess what? I was still out there coaching and doing the things to make an impact for all these other kids. So it's about your family, it's about that, because you don't know if the other kid has problem issue, but you want to be that person that they can come to and talk to and feel comfortable
to raise a village.
If they can't talk to their own kids, because think about it, when they leave that football field, basketball court, whatever the case may be, where you're volunteering your time, they go back home to their own environment where they may be beat down with, oh, you think you better than me because you know this, you think you better than this. So it's that dynamic to say, no, you don't. It's not about you being better than them, you just learning stuff.
We want to be able to live within a democratic framework, but not be dependent on the vicissitudes of democracy. The vicissitudes. You know what I'm saying? The changes. The vicissitudes. Let me say this.
Hold on, bro. Let me Google that real quick. Hold on.
The changes, the upheavals that take place within our democratic process. Okay? So that we don't want our forward momentum to be stifled by a 4-year or an 8-year election process. That's counterproductive for us because it should not matter. It should not matter because the government of the United States builds its policy priorities on decade-long cycles. You see what I'm saying? So by the same token, if we as a people are going to come up with formulations that
I think if we look at it from an approach, because I think one thing we try to do when we come into spaces like this is like, how can we all in this room get together and do something together? Mm-hmm. But that's just, and we tend to, it tends to fall before it even gets started.
But you know
what I'm saying? Which is one of the things Alpha does great because it's like, okay, Alpha has very distinct programs that they focus on.
Thinkers and there's doers.
There's thinkers and there's doers. You gotta have dreamers and builders. And this conversation is proof of that. Because there's been a lot of history, there's been a lot of insights, there's been a lot of strategies presented in this room. I brought this group together on purpose because I know what my skill set is. Like I know what I'm good at. And I know that I don't have the historical base that John has, right. You know, because I work with John. We're distance hands. Like I know John. I know what he's thinking and how he's going to present it. The problem is, well, not the problem. The solution is you have to bring everybody to the table so everybody can find their natural role and help the product be developed.
The governor pretty much signed a bill which is considered voter suppression. So it cuts down some of the days for early voting. You can no longer register the same day and vote. So Golden Week is pretty much gone. It's easy to throw out an absentee ballot. I mean, you might have an elderly person who might make an error on a ballot, and they just throw it out. You know what I mean? So say you spell your name, well, not your name, but your street name wrong. You're just going to throw that ballot out. So that vote doesn't count. Yeah, scratch something. Like something simple, it could be thrown out. So the thing is, with this, we created a petition to get everybody to sign, to get the governor to rethink these things. You know what I'm saying? To overturn this bill. So, and that's where, you know, we had to email to Milton, Chris, and everybody else to kind of tie it in with Bruss for voteless people as a hopeless people. Mm-hmm. So the thing is, I mean, this bill to fight, I mean, it's a big battle. I'm not doubting it. We need 380,000 signatures. We only got 80 right now.
Right,
so the thing
80,000 or 80?
380,000. So we can just focus on fighting this bill, or now we can start developing programming for the people, encouraging them to get registered early. And that's the way we're going.
Why not schedule, put in plan a rally down at the State House, put in place a location where we can do voter registration now instead of waiting to 2000.
So we're gonna do voter registration first, but I think a rally might be too extreme right now.
Why is that?
Why is it too extreme?
Never extreme.
Never
I think
extreme?
we should do
right.
we should do it now
Right.
because it's 2014. Next election 2016. This is the perfect opportunity to do it now to get everybody charged, get everybody fighting. And guess what? We as Alpha can lead that charge. We can lead that and be the first.
We gotta use
we gotta be
influence that we
proactive
have
versus
built up
reactive.
over
And maybe we can figure out a place, a location, the schedule where we can do voter registration, voter education on a monthly, weekly basis, right? And then plan out a rally, say sometime this summer, where we go down to Styles and rally.
We can bring everybody to us. It's always
Let's do it.
easier to bring everybody to us, and then we can channel the movement where it needs to go.
Like Marshall
So-
said, we don't need to reinvent the wheel.
And now, if we're gonna talk about the frat, this is where we're gonna get into the weeds a little bit. Everybody doesn't have to be active to serve.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
I'll bring all the inactive bros out.
if we all
Ball chapter.
joined this organization to do service.
Brothers at large.
So you shouldn't alienate anyone ever from doing service.
Absolutely.
So your
That's what we pledge
mindset,
for.
your mindset going into it is, all right, I want bros present to do whatever it is that we need to do. Now, in the midst of that happening, I suspect we will get brothers active just because we're actually in the forefront with something that's
put
important.
stuff out there.
You see what I'm saying? Like, to bring people back in the fold, you got to have a product.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So right now, we're going to take the brothers that we have to build a product. We don't have to stop at our area.
Right.
No, let's make it further, but let's make the
All you need is your core people who are committed to building the event, building whatever the movement is going to be. You don't need a whole lot of people at the table.